Shabbos, everybody.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Firstly, I'd like to thank Rabbi
Shabbos.
Ziegler for giving me the opportunity to pay tribute to our beloved Rabbi Mazel's of blessed memory. It goes without saying that it was with absolute devastation that we woke up Friday morning 2 weeks ago to hear the news of his passing. I don't think we can even begin to sink in the absolute loss, the devastation. We, not only as Cape Town Jewry, but Jews around the world have lost. We've lost this giant of a man because he played such a huge role, from being a rabbi to a shochet, to a mohel, to a sofer, a dayan. It's just a huge void that I think we're all going to struggle to actually fulfill or to fill, to replace. I haven't had the chance, unfortunately, to attend all the minyanim through the week due to other commitments. But as Rabbi said earlier, every night someone's had a chance to pay tribute to Rabbi Mazel and share a beautiful story, which everybody has of him. So I'm going to share some short stories, some anecdotes with you. So if you'll just bear with me. So to start off, Rabbi Mazel's has had a very, very interconnected role in my family's lives. You know, on the saddest side of things, he's buried 3 of my 4 grandparents. He's bar mitzvahed Warren, Ryan, and myself. He flew to Hong Kong for 1 night and 2 days to perform the bris on Warren's eldest son, Idan, when he was living in Hong Kong. He married Danielle and I. He brissed all 3 of our children, Joshua, Jaden, and Jed, as well as performing the Pidyon Ben on Joshua, which is quite a rare thing. And he also officiated in the wedding of my younger brother, Ryan and Jade. So Rabbi Mazel's, he was the epitome of a mensch, someone who lived his life purely for Kiddush Hashem. He was the most humble person I have ever met and treated everyone with the utmost respect, regardless of religion, race, creed, or status. And he gave everybody 101% of his time. Not 100%, but 101% of his time. Nothing was ever too much. Whether it was going to a family that just suffered a bereavement after Shabbat and rocking up at 11 o'clock at night, so be it. It wasn't a problem for him. When my older brother Warren was learning for his bar mitzvah, and shortly just before his bar mitzvah, he got chickenpox. So my mother phoned Rabbi Mazel's to say, listen, Warren has chickenpox, but that didn't deter him. He said, Mr. Stein, in his polite way, don't worry, I've had chickenpox before. I'll come and teach Warren his bar mitzvah lessons. And I'm still not sure to this day if it was the good comics he enjoyed to read at our place, or because he had a job that he had to fulfill and get Warren ready for his bar mitzvah. When it came to my bar mitzvah, those of you who know, Parashat B'Shalach is the longest haftarah in the book. I don't know if it might be a few words short or longer than haftarah Yonah, but we're not going to argue this one now. My mother said to Rabbi Mazel's as follows: Rabbi, I want my son's bar mitzvah on the 10th of February, 1990. Rabbi then looked in the Jewish calendar, and quite perplexed, he looked at my mother, again very politely saying, Mrs. Stein, this parasha, this haftarah is called Haftarah B'Shalach. I don't teach this haftarah to children. It's too long and I just don't do it. I think already he knew not to argue with my mother. My mother said the following words: Rabbi, this is the date. We've got the caterer. We've got the venue. There's a first time for everything. And he went and he taught it to me. And I think we did okay. I can't remember exactly, every time it was a bris of my child, I always, to thank Rabbi, I wanted to get him a present. I don't remember quite exactly what we got for Josh's bris. But when it came to Jaden's bris, I approached the rabbi and I said, Rabbi, what can I get you? And he replied, he said, absolutely nothing. To me, just to fulfill the mitzvah of performing the bris on your son, that's a present in itself. And I said, I'm not going to accept no for an answer. He said, well, if you want to get something, maybe get something for the shul. I said, no, I want to get something for you, to thank you. He said, I would like to get myself a suit, simply because Jaden was born his bris was on the 8th of August, and a month or 6 weeks later was Yontif. And for that particular Yontif, we weren't getting Chazan Adam Davis down to sing, and the rabbi was going to be the Chazan Rishon for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Now, in the good old days when it was my bar mitzvah and my brother's bar mitzvahs, when my late grandfather was alive and Roman's Outfitters was still around, we would just send him there to get a suit. And I said to Rabbi, Rabbi, listen, I'm no expert in shatnez and any of that kind of stuff. I don't want to get it wrong. Please, will you go get a suit and just send me your bank account details and the amount, and I'll put the money straight in your account. And he phoned me about a day or a few days later. And he said, listen, I found a great suit. It's beautiful. I love it. But now, just to let you know, I'm also going to get myself a shirt and a tie, but that's not going to be for your account. And I said, Rabbi, absolutely not. Whatever you want, please go get the shirt, go get the tie, just send it to me and I'll pay for it. You know, he phoned me to tell me, but I could hear the excitement on his voice. It was almost as though someone had just deposited 5 million rand in his bank account. He was so appreciative and so thankful. And I remember very, very clearly on Erev Rosh Hashanah, when he got up to deliver his Devar Torah on the pulpit, he looked at me for a second and he looked down his suit and he gave me like a wink and smiled, and then he started his sermon. And really, it just left such an impression that I still will not forget, just appreciation and gratitude. When it came to Jed's bris, well, I approached him again. I said, I know we're not going to have this fight now. What can I get you? Do you need another suit? He said, no. I've got my suit still. It's in perfect condition. It's lovely. I said, what can I get you? And again, he looked at me and he said, if you really want to get something, Esther and I, we love Haagen-Dazs ice cream. And I looked at him and I went like, are you joking? Just Haagen-Dazs ice cream? He said, that would be amazing. And I got Danielle, my wife, to buy a few tubs of Haagen-Dazs ice cream and drop it off at him. And I bumped into maybe 4 weeks or 5 weeks later at a bar mitzvah at Morasha, and he came up to me and we asked each other how each person was. He says, you know, we've still got some Haagen-Dazs ice cream left in the freezer that we only have it on special occasions. I said, Rabbi, please just don't make it a special occasion. If you want more, please just let me know. But again, the gratitude and appreciation for something so small, which, you know, it just says a lot about a person. Just before my bar mitzvah portion last year, which was the 8th of February, which was my 30th anniversary of my bar mitzvah, I asked Rabbi if he would come to Camp Spey to listen to me doing my Haftarah. And I don't know if you guys remember, but a month or two or so before that, he had just had his heart attack. So I said, Rabbi, you know, I fully understand if you can't make it, but if you could, that would be absolutely amazing. And he looked at me. It was at one of our Thursday single malt minyanim that he was there. And he said, Brent, I wouldn't miss this for the world, and I will be there. And he walked through and he listened to it. And I think that was probably the best rendition I've done today of my Haftarah. And I could just see the pride in his eyes that I'd done it so well. And I had a chance to speak at the bracha afterwards and really got a chance to thank him for everything. So being around Rabbi Maisels has made me, and I'm sure others, want to be a better person, as he's always done everything for the right reasons. You know, never ever for self-gain, but to always help a fellow person, and by so doing, fulfilling mitzvot, no matter how big or small. That was his purpose. So just last Sunday at about 7:30 p.m., which, as you know, is never ever a really good time, but especially not a good time when you've got 3 young children. I got a frantic call from yours truly, Rabbi Ziegler, to tell me that he had just completed his jog from the parking lot of Lion's Head to Signal Hill. And what he had done is he'd taken his whole bunch of keys and just separated the remote and kept that in his pocket to prevent the keys from clanking in his pocket. Rabbi is quite a serious runner. And either on the way there or on the way back, this remote had fallen out. So he asked if I could please come and assist him. And as soon as I put down the phone, I jumped in my car without any hesitation. And whilst driving up, I actually asked myself a question. What do you think Rabbi Moses would have done? And I carried on driving with a smile on my face, ready to go and help. When I got there, I saw Rabbi Ziegler quite frantically still searching for this remote. And he was about 1 kilometer from where he had parked the car. So he had come back and already walked another kilometer. And when I looked at him and said, listen, Rabbi, this is like looking for a needle in a haystack. And his reply to me were, Brent, believe it or not, miracles do happen. I said, fine, okay, let's go with it. So I parked my car and I went onto the opposite side of the road and started walking. I hadn't walked as much as 50 meters. And there was this remote control in the middle of the road. Now, it really is, miracles do happen, because how a car didn't go over this remote, which was in the middle, not on the side of the road, in the middle of the road, one doesn't know. But we found the remote and Rabbi was happy. You know, I could go on and share stories about Rabbi Meir's, of how great a man he was, because he really was an unbelievable man. And I think one of his greatest attributes was he wasn't a talker, he was a doer. And I've come up with a bit of an idea that we can all hopefully live by throughout our daily lives. And that's called having a Rabbi Meir's day. So what is a Rabbi Meir's day? Where every day, no matter how big or small, you do something for the better of someone else and not expecting anything in return. And by doing this, we'll all be fulfilling a mitzvah in his name and giving his neshama an aliyah, which it so richly deserves. And lastly, I've put together a short slideshow as part of a tribute to Rabbi Meir's with my family. I'm sure all of you have got as many pictures as I do and can also do this. And let me just, my disclaimer is I'm no professional. I did this on my own on some app, but I think it gets the message across and I'm sure you guys will enjoy this nonetheless. And the song that I chose for the slideshow is a song called Shir Tikva, which is called the Hope Song by an Israeli artist, Miri Masika. And it's very appropriate given the world we are currently living in. But there is hope. And if you listen to the words of the song, she says, Ma yeh machar ein ish yodea, which usually translates as, what will be tomorrow? No one actually knows. Because we really don't. But let's try and incur Rabbi Meir's days in our lives to make this world a better place for us all. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak and enjoy my slideshow.
דף חדש אתה נוגע ביום הזה תישא תפילה תדע שיש מי ששומע אל תוותר מיד ויש לך מרחק ללכת אל תוותר מיד אם לא עכשיו אולי עוד שנה היום הזה הוא התחלה תחשוב אתה יכול אחרת והתשובה לשאלה בתוך החיים מסתתרת אל תפחד עכשיו כי לא עבדה לך הדרך אל תפחד עכשיו אם לא היום אולי עוד שנה עולם מוזר לא שלך כשהתקווה בלב בוערת יש בדידות יש כאב והתקווה איתך נשארת אל תאבד אותה תשמור עליה מה יהיה מחר אני יודע זה אתה ראשון עצמך אתה בחרת היום הזה הניצחון, בעצם זה שלא נשברת.